Today I'm going to talk to you about one of the hoarder houses that I had to clean out. Now, I have talked to people who think that the hoarder shows on TV are just made up, that things aren't really like that and people don't really live like that. And I'm here to tell you they do. You have no idea what some people's homes look like. Hi, I'm Diane. I'm a professional organizer. I offer common sense solutions to dealing with the stuff in a house. And on occasion, I have cleaned out hoarder estates. I do not ever work with people who are hoarders who are still living in the home because that involves a whole team. You need someone who is a mental health professional to help with that. So, but going in and cleaning an estate, and I never did any that had rodents. You get a little bit of bugs, but mold was big. And with this particular job, I got a whole new education on mold. Now, this was a home, this was a rancher, a very large rancher, and my client had already cleared out the top, which was not terribly bad as far as hoards go. But the basement was bad. So, go down the stairs, and at the bottom of the stairs there's a doorway into a second part of the basement, and the first part was finished. It was probably, I'm guessing, about 15 foot across and the length of the house. And there was a path down the middle, and everything was stacked, I kid you not, 6 foot tall, the entire room. I mean, like, I could see down to the end, but you couldn't see the walls at all. The other section was larger, it was wider and deeper, more of a utility part of the house, and not stacked as high, but actually had more stuff in it because of the size of it. So where do you start with something like that? Well, you start right at the bottom of the stairs because you can't get too far in. Well, this woman, she hoarded a tremendous amount of fabric. She had done quilting and did beautiful quilting, like wall hangings and pillows and things like that. So of course she just would see fabric and buy it. I mean, not just buy pieces of fabric, which she did. She bought bolts, whole bolts of fabric. So there were tables just loaded with bolts of fabric. And believe it or not, we were able to sell those because someone buying those could take them home and launder them and it would be fine. But there were family pieces of furniture that I think a piece was like a hutch that her father had made, and completely covered in mold. Now, you might think, oh, I can put a dehumidifier down there and that's going to take care of that if you have a basement full of things. No, it does not. That stuff, when it's compacted together and things are on top of each other, it's a bad situation. And of course, a lot of this stuff was in cardboard boxes too. So cardboard absorbs that moisture and the mold just feeds off of that. So there were boxes of dolls. She thought that would be a good investment to buy dolls. And because dolls, the composition of the face and the eyes is different than the body. So, you open up a box and the eyes are, fuzzy white or black or something. It's pretty creepy. So there was an awful lot of stuff, that went into the dumpster. It was just, that was kind of like, okay, we're just kind of like sorting through. Some of the dishware and things like that could be washed and could be sold or donated. But anything that was, like just in cardboard boxes, like the dolls and stuff, right into the dumpster. Furniture, wood absorbs that mold. You can't save those pieces. So that stuff all got hauled up and into the dumpster. It's very sad when you run into a situation like that. Now, the other side of the basement, there were some things we could save out of there. But again, and I always thought mold was just black. No, mold comes in white and chartreuse and I think purple, and there was one mold over there that was looked like cotton candy. It was just that stringy texture. So I got a whole education on mold when I did that. And yes, the family did have someone come in and do mold remediation in the entire basement before they sold the house. But there were just boxes of anything and everything you can imagine. Some of it was just household stuff she had taken down the basement, and some were things that she purchased. And again, the dolls, she used to go to garage sales and buy like bits and pieces of dolls. I guess she thought she was going to put them together. I don't know, but you'd open up a box and there would be a torso and some heads and some arms and just bits and pieces of dolls. Pretty creepy, almost nightmare kind of stuff for me. So I don't like dolls. So yes, people really do hoard. And when you have a situation like that, number one, you got to wear a mask because molds, you just don't want to. I know of a professional organizer who years ago ended up in the hospital for quite some time because of respiratory issues. And finally what they did was suck everything out of her lungs to find out what was going on. And her lungs were like 2/3 full of mold. And of course then they were able to treat that and she was fine. But yeah, you don't mess around with mold. You don't save anything that's moldy. Like I said, the fabric we were able to sell just because people were able to launder that, but we did let them know, you've got to take care of this. So yes, these houses really are like this, and sometimes there's just no rhyme or reason to what they have or to why they had it. But yeah, if you think that TV show is made up, I can tell you it's not. And I can tell you you can fill a 30-yard dumpster pretty quick with a basement from a hoarder house.